Boundless confidence to me is sort of nurturing the sacred essence of yourself, regardless of what society says, regardless of what your close family may say, regardless of what your inner critic may tell you. Boundless confidence is getting in touch with your inner source, your soul, your spirit, your life force, and magnifying that and honoring that and listening to that. This is such an interesting question because I think about this all the time. I think about certain people in society that have so much confidence, and I always have had this theory that either they were not loved at all or they were completely loved. I don't think it goes in the middle. I think usually people that I see, even people that are kind of well known and famous, I always ask myself, were they really loved or were they not loved at all? Because I think for the ones that weren't loved at all, they go on this seeking journey on ways to fill themselves up and to build themselves up and to mother and father themselves and create sort of this persona. And then there's the others who've been loved so much, and you can just see it in their stance and the way they walk into a room and sort of this feeling that they belong. So I think not all of us are born with it, and I think it's something that you can teach yourself and you can acquire and you can sort of foster in yourself. And that is done, again, with going inward and honoring yourself. I think people with radiance and a lot of confidence can definitely light up a room. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen people where the energy is sort of maybe a little ambivalent in the room, a little, not so bright, and then somebody can come in and completely shift the energy. We are all energy. That's all we are. We are all just beings of energy. I mean, Albert Einstein said that. And so if we are energy, we can transform like energy does. And so if we're in the presence of someone who radiates that, we can definitely get it by contagion and sort of begin to feel uplifted ourselves. And the same thing goes with the reverse. I think when we're around someone that's really negative, you can feel it bringing you down. And I always have this theory that you sort of listen to your body and see how it feels when you're around certain people. And if you start feeling really tired and exhausted, then you kind of know that that's sort of a drain on you. But if you start feeling sort of this inspired life force, you know that person is sort of feeding you. I'm giving more talks and doing these beauty rituals, and I realized the first few that I did, I would be so exhausted afterwards and drained, and I realized that it's like being a container, and you sort of have to do a protection force around you so you don't absorb. I think when you're an empathetic person, you sort of absorb other people's energy. So some practical ways of doing that is covering your crown chakra. I know I practice Kundalini yoga, and they always say to cover your crown chakra when you're leading a class. So that's a way where you can maintain your energy and keep it from absorbing other people's. There's also other things you can do, like surrounding yourself in a bubble of light. Sometimes I'll sage myself and my area and my things after I've been around a large group of people. It's just, I think, again, we're energy and we can sort of like latch on to things. It's also great to take baths, salt baths, mantras. All these things can clear and shift the energy. Well, I started the skincare line after I started my blog, but they sort of go hand in hand. I was diagnosed with some autoimmune conditions in my 20s, so I was very ill. But once I got onto the holistic path, I started to feel a lot better. And I realized that many people are eating healthy and well, but however, they're still putting toxic chemicals on their skin. And as we've all heard, our skin is our largest organ. It absorbs everything straight into the bloodstream. So I started making my face oil for myself maybe 10, 15 years ago. And then about 4 years ago, during a Kundalini meditation, it came to me in a download. Just the whole thing came to me as far as doing this line and sort of, spreading this, sharing this with other women. And so that sort of started the line. And then from there, now I have so many other products, but it's just become a labor of love. And it's because, you are what you put on your skin. So I really value that, the teachings of Ayurveda, and trying to put some of that into my skincare line as well. I love the idea of spreading this, and sharing it. And I was so ill in my 20s and 30s. And so I feel like part of my mission is to help other people that are afflicted with autoimmune issues. I was in such severe pain that, waking up was sometimes a challenge. And so now that I live this life of being, pain-free most of the time, I'm just so grateful. And part of that is to spread this knowledge. And so I would love to help others and also to help our planet. All my products are, come from good sources, and I really take pride in making sure that they're cultivated in a sustainable way. So I want to give back to the planet as well. I have 2 daughters, so they're definitely part of my legacy. And if I can create really compassionate spiritual beings, I feel like I would have left a good mark on this earth. And to somehow, continue to help our planet and protect trees and animals. And I know it sounds so California, but it really is. I've gotten into a lot of trouble in my past for doing this, so I do think that it's a priority, and we need to do it for our future, and the time is now. So if I can leave one little mark on the planet that way, I would be eternally grateful.